up? It's your boy T-Bird here with the reaction. So, about to keep going on with the Halloween reaction viz. You know, as I say, post-Halloween reaction viz. So this one is one of the ones I wanted to do later on the day, yesterday though. But like I said, busy day I had yesterday after the volleyball game went longer than expected. So this is top 10 types of horror movie victims. Now, let me see if I get this right. Let me read the description. Cliche are used for a reason. These character tropes have definitely made an appearance in your favorite horror movies. I guess it's like the top type of persons, the type. So it is like the type, like they ain't just like one victim. It's like a known type of victim. So all right, I'll figure it was something like that when I read it right. It said type of victim. So let's check it out. This is gonna be funny and probably gonna be funny.
Pardon me, but is that a giant bullseye on your back? Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 horror movie victim types.
Let me find it gonna be black first. I'm gonna be mad as hell. I'm like, man, I don't get mad about shit like this.
So be sure to subscribe for more
Us black people
content.
in this shit.
For this list, we're ranking the most popular and prevalent character archetypes found within the horror movie genre. These characters don't always have to die, but they often suffer the wrath of each film's main villain as intended victims or targets.
Oh, shit!
And given the fact that we'll definitely be revealing some major death scenes along the way, a spoiler alert is now in effect.
Want a chocolate bar?
Number 10, the non-believers.
There are no Sasquatches. There are no big feet.
We start our list with what's
all be the
perhaps
non-believers,
the most frustrating victim
That's
type
true.
of all.
That is true.
Non-believers. These are the characters that simply refuse to acknowledge any of the creepy, suspicious, or downright terrifying things that happen to be going on around them in the film.
There's no such thing as ghosts.
The non-believers often arrive armed with an explanation for just about everything. Until it's too late.
Damn!
These characters are usually separated from the main group, or otherwise refuse to do anything about the killer, and they end up becoming mincemeat for their troubles. Hey guys, you were warned.
Trying to come in!
There's nothing out here!
Number 9, the redneck.
Oh shit!
Walk it off. He's gonna be fine.
Ew!
Every horror film has a redneck-like character in it, but when they do, they're often in cahoots with the killers rather than the victims.
Oh, that's good, isn't it, Grandpa?
Ew.
They do sometimes appear on the other end of things, though, like the tragically doomed Jake and Bobby Joe from Sam Raimi's Evil Dead 2.
I can't breathe.
In this sense, the redneck is usually hard-headed and stubborn, and it's these qualities that often prevent this victim type from surviving to the end. Do you find it impossible to compromise or collaborate with others in even the direst of situations? Then you just might be the redneck in a horror film. Number 8, the fat one.
Oh wow!
One for surviving Zombieland. Cardio.
Okay, we know it may not be PC to use this term, but political correctness was never exactly the calling card of 1980s slasher movies.
But I think you're really out of line.
This was where the character archetype of the fat one was often found, usually as the butt of a joke or as some sort of comic relief.
Poor fat bastard.
Then again, there are also examples like Shelley from Friday the 13th Part 3, a lovable but socially awkward sort who uses cheap scares and masks to hide his self-consciousness.
You be yourself if you look like this.
Shelley was one of the franchise's most memorable and beloved characters, yet even that fact didn't save him from dying at the hands of Jason Voorhees.
Nice makeup job.
Number 7, the love interest or the best friend.
I'll tell you what, once you guys go up to my parents' room, you know, you guys can talk.
Always.
Whatever.
Every horror hero needs some backup, right? Well, this is where the love interest or best friend characters come in, as moral support to the film's primary protagonist. These peripheral characters could be romantically involved with or in a platonic relationship with the main character, and sometimes they even serve as one of the few survivors of a maniacal killer's attack.
I'm so sorry I almost shot you. I probably wouldn't have.
Unfortunately, the love interest or best friend is also just as likely to end up a victim.
So I talked about
involved with or in a platonic relationship with the main character, and sometimes they even serve. Interest or best friend is also just as likely to end up a victim. usually as a result of some courageous or heroic final stand, so that the hero can attain the upper hand over the killer. Rest in peace, guys. They couldn't have done it without you.
Are you alright? Come on, let's just go.
Number 6, the Stoner.
Oh.
Many of us might be able to identify with the Stoner. After all, isn't there a small part of us that would just want to say, screw it? I'm getting as high as possible before I have to deal with this maniac stalking me.
Giant evil gods.
So yeah, Kristen was the
Maybe
one.
that isn't the best of ideas now that we say it out loud, but that hasn't stopped the Stoner from
Oh.
puffing away in
Little
countless
leprechaun in
horror
the hood.
films. Sadly, this is usually the last thing they do before falling under the killer's blade. One last bit of escapism before it all fades to black.
Give me my ball back, bitch.
Back to the. Oh! So give him a bomb back. Oh, he stabbed him with the bomb!
Usually none too bright Stoner, the idiot is another victim type that's dead meat right from the start.
That's sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's fucked up. But out of all deaths of Friday today, that's the funniest one. So I'm like, I'm like, that shit funny. You know, that's, and then you see the axe all on her down.
Number 5, the authority figure.
Mm-hmm.
I said I know who it is. Who? It's Jason Voorhees.
Existing
Jason
alongside the
Voorhees.
non-believers as some of the horror world's most infuriating characters, the authority figure does all they can to impede the progress of the heroes. They could align themselves with another victim type, the useless cop, and temporarily imprison the heroes while the rest of the town gets cut up. Or the authority figure could find other ways to abuse their power to get in the other character's way.
No one in Forest Green wants to be reminded of what that maniac did here. That's why we changed the name.
Although this victim type often sees the error of their ways before the film's end, this usually isn't enough to save them from death. Although the authority figure occasionally receives a nice scene of redemption before biting the dust. Number 4,
The jock and the
or
jerk.
the jerk.
Yep. That's always. Oh shit.
You love to hate him.
Oh god, Chris
Jocks are the
Hemsworth.
jerks of the horror movie universe. This character type is usually attached to one of
He
the film's
got
main
killed in this.
characters as some sort of
he's-
dysfunctional love interest, but this situation rarely lasts
Johnny
the
Cage.
entire film. This is because the jock or jerk is such an insufferable character, picking on almost everyone around them, and alienating themselves from the rest of the group.
What the fuck happened?
This
Going on?
usually leads to their demise by the film's killer, scared, alone,
It
and
followed.
without any friends to save them from their deadly but just desserts.
Oh, Hellraisers. Oh god. Damn, he got fucked up. Damn.
3. The promiscuous.
No wonder people be. No wonder they said Hellraiser's fucked up. God damn. I forgot how fucked up it was. The promiscuous girl, yeah.
It might actually be unfair to label this as one gender over another, because, let's face it, sex equals death in many classic horror films. Still, the promiscuous girl serves a twofold purpose. Not only is she there to die after her prerequisite sex scene, she's also there to provide slasher and exploitation films with their expected amount of nudity. Unfortunately, the promiscuous girl rarely, if ever, makes it to the end, further emphasizing the connection between conservative 80s era values.
Ah, that shit was crazy. You got split in
Still,
half.
there are worse ways to go out, though, right?
Ah,
Number 2, the black guy. Always
I knew it. Oh, how did I knew they gonna put that shit in there? How the fuck I knew? How they gonna put that shit in there? That's fucked up. But yeah,
dies
it's true.
first.
What's that?
Mm-hmm.
Stop it!
Hold
This
up.
one
Let me see it.
simultaneously
The black guy's what?
guy.
Always was out
dies
first. That's fucked up. Black girls too.
Stop it!
This one's simultaneously something of a
Well,
misnomer,
man.
while at the same time remaining a statistic to this day. Although films like 2017's Get Out thankfully modernized some of the racial roles in horror films, minorities in the genre suffered for decades as victims, with very few
He wasn't a
making it to
victim.
the end credits alive.
He wasn't a victim though.
Indeed, For every black protagonist, like Peter
Yes, you
from
won't.
George Romero's original Dawn of the Dead, we've had a slew of token African American characters that are simply there to diversify the cast and increase the body count. They may not always die first, but for the black guy, death is almost certain in the world of old school horror.
Alright, Vince, hit him in the head, right between the eyes.
Damn.
Before we reveal our top horror movie victim,
The geek.
there are a few Dead to Rights honorable mentions.
The geek.
Sorry.
The nerd, yeah.
I don't believe it.
Fairy tale. The dog. Oh shit. How did both of them from the same movie too? The Loudmouth. Yep. True.
Let's go!
Number 1.
The Final Girl.
Jason, Mother is talking to you!
The Final Girl is one of the most defining tropes of classic horror, especially within the slasher boom of the 1980s. The term is used to represent the pure, virginal, or otherwise wholesome main character that faces off with the killer in a climactic battle. The Final Girl is often aided by the love interest or best friend in this goal, and is usually successful, barring of course any last-second sequel teases by the filmmakers. The Final Girl is also a character that often returns for those sequels, although history has shown us that even these brave, resourceful women end up falling to the Freddys and the Jasons of the world eventually.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from Watch Mojo and subscribe for new videos every day.
Yep, that was good though. See, I got a lot of ones rated hard. I wish I knew about that. I would have watched it this whole weekend though. So, but that was good though. But they had to put the black guy on there. God darn. So they only got what's they got here? 10 more movies ruined by the terrible endings. 9 watching no damn 50 minutes, 50 of that shit. Friday 13th versus Halloween. I might say they're just to have it in my side anyway. Horror movies that try to make you afraid of stupid. Alright. I don't care too much about those other ones. But I'll forget them. I'll look for them later. So anyway, yeah. They had to put the black folks in there. Really. Other than that, this was legit though. And black folks were legit too, DVD. But this is what I always say about this. This is what I always say about it though. Black folks may die first or eventually die, but we don't get fucked up by the other race though. Except if you want a Jason Friday 13th movie. I told y'all down the Friday 13th kill. You see what happened to my man boxing Jason night, got his head knocked the fuck off. But yeah. And just about that, black folks, just like they say with the Final Girl, it may not get killed on the one, but eventually they would kill like Kincaid. God rest his soul. So, if you like my reaction, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like my Facebook page. It's your boy T-Bird signing off. One love.